Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if this is your first time being here. My name is Melissa. My channel is called Empowered Gems Tarot, and in today's reading we're going to be looking into messages from your guides. You can watch this for messages from your guides, ancestors, spirit team, angels, whatever word you like to use. Essentially, we are just getting you general messages from spirit, focusing in on whatever it is that spirit wants you to be most aware of at this particular moment in time. Keep in mind, this is a general collective reading on YouTube, so messages will vary in how specifically they will resonate with every single viewer out there. So as a best practice, as you're watching your selected reading, keep in mind that if anything feels confusing to you or doesn't feel like it fits your personal situation as you know it to be, it may not be your message today. So just don't overthink it, release it, let it go. Understand that messages can sometimes apply more for others out there in the collective that are watching the reading. If you guys did want to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website is in the description box down below where you can book one with me. Personal readings can be a better way to get a more specific and accurate read on your own personal energy and situation. I also have a Patreon, so if any of you are curious to follow me on Patreon and support my work there, lots of different perks for channel members, including 2 exclusive additional video pick-a-card readings per month. So if that interests you, the link to my Patreon is in the description box down below as well. And with all of that being said, now we will go ahead and select your reading. If you're drawn to reading 1, we are working with the Spirit Song Tarot and this green moonstone crystal. If you are drawn to reading number 2, we'll be working with the Cozy Witch Tarot and this citrine crystal. And if you're drawn to reading number 3, we're working with the Angel Tarot and this pyrite crystal. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about what messages Spirit has for you at this time and what you most need to know. Go ahead and select the deck or crystal that you feel the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box below to locate the timestamp that will skip you ahead to your chosen reading. See you there. Hello there, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the Spirit Song Tarot and this green moonstone, this is going to be your message today. And today we're going to be looking into messages from your spirit guides, ancestors, angels, higher self, whatever term it is that you prefer to use, that you resonate with the most. Let's go ahead and see what Spirit wants you to know the most at this time. All right, so starting us off, we've got the energy of the mountain. Okay, we have outdoors. And we have prioritize. Okay. We're going to come back to this one in a couple minutes. So I feel like Spirit is highlighting right now some sort of challenge. And this is either a challenge that you guys are currently working through or something that is kind of on, what's the word? It's on the precipice. Like you're on your way to it. You know it's coming. And I feel like this energy of isolation from this a little bit, because I'm drawn to, in this card, how we have this man who is sitting inside of the mountain by himself, sort of looking out. Maybe some of you guys have already reached a certain level of success, or you've already reached a certain goal. But whatever it is that's happening in your life right now, I think Spirit is pointing to the fact that there is something that's challenging about it for you. And you've got a couple messages here of advice already coming through. So we have outdoors. This says go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So for some of you guys, I think like if you have not been isolating, right? If you have not been taking breaks or removing yourself from the challenging situation, I feel like Spirit is guiding you to do that at this time. And they're specifically saying go outside, get outdoors, kind of like what this guy is doing in the mountains. Maybe go out to the mountains for some of you, literally, because it seems to be that at this time, you need to ground yourself. And something about you being able to kind of remove yourself a little bit from the situation is going to help spark some new insight, relieve stress, and maybe even help you guys with some sort of creative idea that you might benefit from. We also have the energy of prioritize here. So this says, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. There's also something here about needing to get organized, needing to have a plan. That's really, really important. And I'm noticing how the Archangel in this card is facing the future, right? So as I was saying, there's definitely something about this message where Spirit is pointing to like the future being important, whether it's a future challenge, a future uphill battle, or something about like you already having reached a certain pinnacle of success, a certain point in a challenge, and now it's time to move to the next level. And you're going to only be able to do that by getting organized, okay? So let's see what we get in the tarot. You guys picked out the Spirit Song tarot. I actually haven't used this in a while, so I felt guided to it for today's reading. So what else can you tell us, Spirit? What else does Group 1 need to know? From their spirit guides. We have the Ace of Feathers. This is the Ace of Swords. That says mental clarity and foundation. Yeah. So again, like there's a need to look at something differently. We've got the Four of Cups, the Four of Shells. Okay. Let's see. Two of Acorns, Two of Pentacles. For some of you, this could have to do with work because I'm drawn to the goat here, which reminds me of Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't literally always have to mean work, but that's what came to mind when I was looking at it. Capricorn has to do with like being diligent and dedicated and hardworking. And I'm wondering if that is what you guys are struggling with at this time, right? Because with the Four of Cups here, this can kind of talk about feeling a little bored or complacent or blah about something. Maybe there is a little bit of a fixation on a missed opportunity for some of you. And there's a competitive energy here with the Five of Feathers, the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I'm sorry, Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, where I think you guys are really in your head and overthinking it a little too much and maybe even getting in your own way through some negative thoughts. So with this Ace of Feathers, Ace of Swords, Spirit is saying that it's important for you to shift your perspective, shift your mindset, and really seek that mental clarity. Because I think that right now there's a lack of that, or a lot of confusion, or like there's something that you're too immersed in and you need to kind of detach from this, whether it's literally through going outdoors or just removing yourself from the situation into a more purifying and cleansing environment. It's going to give you the clarity that you need to be able to more diligently move forward. I also think that through separating yourself from whatever this is, it's going to allow you the opportunity to do some really important soul searching. Like to me, you guys, this is very much about like you going within and like just connecting with yourself. This is a very isolated sort of energy that I get from this, that Spirit is calling to you. Really eliminating distractions, I think, is going to be super, super important here, because there's something about the situation that you're in that does not feel satisfying. It does not feel fulfilling. It's not exciting you anymore. And I think, again, there's an opportunity here where Spirit is saying you need to kind of detach, go within and figure out what is it that inspires you? What is it that fulfills you? What do you want to do versus what don't you want to do, right? Because the Four of Cups can be talking about when we say no to things because it just doesn't look like what we want it to look like. And so maybe some of you guys have been in a situation where like nothing that is being presented to you looks enticing. Nothing that's being presented to you looks like good, right? We know what we don't want, but we don't know what we do want, right? Like we've all had that friend who's like, you know, we ask them, what do you want to eat for dinner? And they can only tell us, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And it's like, well, that's not helping me. Like, what do you want? Right? So I feel like there's an energy of that here. The Two of Wands is here as well. This talks about insight and focus. So again, this is very much a message about being stationary, right? It's about understanding that there's actually a lot of opportunity out there for you, Group 1. this situation has potential for you to go in many different directions. It's just about you needing to decide what is the right path for you. And so with the Two of Wands, this can carry a little bit of an energy of indecision with it. And I think it makes sense because I don't think that you guys really have the clarity that you need right now to make any decisive moves. But through pulling back that energy, I think it's going to help you to get re-inspired. You know, the Two of Wands comes after the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is that spark of inspiration, right? It's that potential, that excitement again. And so I think that once you guys are able to pull back your energy a little bit, there's going to be something that comes to you that makes you feel more inspired. And it's going to give you something that you can work with, that you can grow with here. We also have Saturn in Gemini in the third, concentration. So that's really interesting. The third house, so this can have to do with like communication. It can also have to do with like shorter distance trips, which could be connected to the message of getting outside or getting out into the mountains. Can also have to do with relationships with siblings or acquaintances, neighbors, sibling-like relationships, maybe even coworkers for some of you. But with Saturn in the third, this is very much, especially with concentration, it's giving me this energy of like, you need to eliminate distractions. You need to be a little bit more disciplined in how you're moving forward. And it kind of comes back to this Capricorn energy I was getting here with the Ace of Swords, right? Saturn is connected to the sign of Capricorn. It is connected to the 10th house. So maybe again, for some of you, this could have to do with career or public image. But there's a need for you to sort of get a bit more disciplined in the way that you're thinking about things, get more disciplined in your thoughts, get more disciplined in your communication, and really eliminating those distractions. Let's see. All right, let's keep moving. We're going to come over here next to the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. So what else, Spirit, would you like Group 1 to know at this time? And you guys, I know like when you hear something that sounds so basic, that's like go outside, it sounds like, how is that really going to help me? You know what I mean? But I have to tell you, for me, not necessarily with going outside, but with meditation, I've had really amazing, just random insights that have solved major problems for me that came to me just through meditation, right? So sometimes just those simple practices of quieting your mind, getting rid of all the clutter, right, that's in there, that can allow you to just get whatever insight that you need to move forward. Okay, let's see. We have adrift in shallow water. Take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. That's beautiful. Adrift in shallow water is making me feel like the situation is not that deep. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just think there's something about what you guys are going through that might be feeling a bit more overwhelming than it should, right? And so when I think of shallow water, it's like it's not that deep. And it's okay to be sort of floating around in this space at this time, right? So this talks about calming the mind, which we talked about here with Saturn and Gemini, and reconnecting to your inner peace, which makes sense with all this detachment, this hermit-like energy that we've been getting. Notice the small things and appreciate them. So I think simplifying again, getting back to basics, focusing in on gratitude, you guys. Again, I know this sounds like super simple, but if you've been in a negative headspace or you've not been seeing things clearly, things have been frustrating for you at this time, you're not fulfilled, starting to recenter on gratitude, I think is something that will make a huge difference for you. So that's what Spirit is saying. Okay. Let's go to our next deck. What else, Spirit, do you want Group 1 to know at this time? I think there's also like a need to kind of zoom the lens out and look at the big picture, in particular when it comes to getting organized, you guys. I feel like you've been just too close to something or too in the weeds of something. And being able to prioritize requires you to zoom out and say, okay, when I look at all of the things that I'm worried about right now, what is actually for real the most important to me? And you can only do that through a higher perspective. And I'm noticing in this card how we have this, I don't know if it's like a falcon or a hawk or what it is, but it's like high in the sky, wings are spread, it's looking down and it's getting ready to go tackle something, right? So looking at something from a bigger picture lens is going to help you know where to zero in a little bit better. We have weird is the new cool. Boldly express your uniqueness. I love that, group 1. So yeah, I think like maybe part of the key to unlocking progress is to lean into the things that make you kind of weird. Lean into the things that make you sort of different or something. Maybe there's an idea or a mindset that's a little different, right? Don't be afraid to just be authentic to who you are, because I think that the more, how do I phrase it? It's like the more natural, like the more you can just be yourself, the more you're in a place where you just feel like you vibe and that it's like working for you. Like it's just going to be easier for you when you can be authentic, I think is what Spirit is saying. So don't be afraid to just be yourself and just express who you are. You would be surprised how many people will resonate when you're just being authentic, right? I think a lot of times we can be scared to be vulnerable and to just let ourselves be who we are because we're afraid we're going to be judged or like there's going to be rejection to that. And there may be, but I've met so many people that I would never have expected to meet that actually are into a lot of the same things that I am, just because I took the risk to be myself, you know? So just a nod there from Spirit about like, don't be afraid to be a weirdo. All right, these are our closing cards, group 1. So we have the groom, husband, and marriage. Okay, we also have the bear, strength and resourceful. Let's grab one more. Group 1. We also have the old man, inheritance and male. So a couple of male figures coming through here, group 1. Maybe you are a male. Maybe you identify with one of these archetypes. A husband, maybe you're married, or maybe you're an older man for some of you. For others of you, I think this is just connected to other people in your life. I would say, I feel like for some of you guys, I would say that it may not be literal, but like if these topics have been on your mind, like marriage, a husband, a partner, if you're a man, like if you're married to a woman or a man or whoever, like if you're thinking about this topic, if you're thinking about an older man in your life or an inheritance, I feel like that's just a sign that this is your message. For others of you, I'm also getting that maybe there is an ancestor here that's coming through for you. That's a man that is helping and assisting you and watching over you at this time. And I feel like in particular with this weird is the new cool, with this old man showing up here, I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is an ancestor that's wanting you to just be yourself. The bear has to do with being resourceful. It can sometimes have to do with financial matters as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be that for everybody, but there is something about this whole situation where Spirit is saying like you're becoming more resilient. You're learning to be more resourceful. You're learning how to be better at maximizing the resources that you have, whether financial or otherwise. And yes, even though the situation may feel very mentally challenging and confusing for you guys at sometimes, because I am getting that, it's actually ultimately helping you to become stronger and more resilient in the future. So that's kind of the beauty of Saturn. It's a stricter energy and it forces us to kind of be disciplined, right? And get our stuff together, but it brings rewards through that discipline. Okay, so this is what I see, group 1. Comment below. I'd love to hear from you what's been going on with you and how this reading might resonate. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading soon. Bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the Cozy Witch Tarot deck and the citrine crystal, this is going to be your message. And today we're just looking into general messages from Spirit. So from your spirit guides, your ancestors, your angels, your higher self, whatever term it is that you feel the most comfortable with. We are just going to look to see what is coming through for you and what you need to know at this time. So let's go ahead and jump in, group 2. All right, so we start off here with the seed. We have sensitivity. We also have passion. Okay. This is interesting. So the seed, this talks about some sort of origin story or some sort of a new beginning here. And the beautiful thing about this is that this talks about fertile, generative energy. But on the shadow side, it can talk about when we're festering or something is just stewing. We have this potential for this new beginning, this fertile new beginning, but maybe we're laying a little bit dormant. And the reason that I felt guided to share both of those perspectives on the seed is because it doesn't mean the potential is not here. But I noticed that there are some opposing energies at play, right? And when we look at these archangels, I want to point out to all of you, group 2, that the angels are facing in opposite directions. The sensitivity angel, facing toward the past, the passion angel facing toward the future. So I think you're kind of split right now between these two sort of states of being. And this could be like why we're getting that duality coming through with the seed. So I feel like there's something in the past that you guys are still kind of reeling from at this time. This says you are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Something in the past I think has sort of scarred you, group 2, or it's made you feel maybe a bit emotionally depleted, or as the card says, just like sensitive, right? There is a need, I think, to be gentle with yourself around whatever this is. And I feel like the other message that I'm getting from this is that you don't need to rush your healing, right? So I think it's okay if you're in this sort of limbo space where you're starting to see the possibilities, but you're still not quite out of the woods of the past yet. We also have passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Okay, so there is something in your life right now where Spirit is saying, like, you're excited, right? Ignited, like the Chris Brown song. I think that's the song. Indecisive, right? Is that what it's called? It's called Undecided. Undecided. Okay, it's coming to me. This makes sense now. Yes, you're undecided right now, group 2, because there's something that you do feel this spark around in your life, whether it's love life, career, something else. But then I think there's still something from the past where you're still healing and things feel a little sensitive at this time. But there is this beautiful potential for new beginning here. Okay, so Chris Brown lyrics gave me the message. All right, let's see. Let's keep going, group 2. So group 2, what else do you want them to know at this time? Please, Spirit. I love this deck. This is such a cute deck. We've got the Queen of Cups that makes sense with the sensitive energy. We've got the Four of Swords. I'm laughing because the messages on these cards are so cute. Ooh, and the Good Luck Charm, which is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Swords. We can all learn important things from one another. So I think there's a lesson here that you guys are still integrating at this time. But I think it's okay if you're in a little bit of a resting phase, group 2. I'm just going to say it. We start off here with the Queen of Cups. This says honoring your emotions is one of the highest forms of self-care. So however you're feeling, if you are feeling sensitive, that is okay right now. And I think Spirit is saying right now, you need to honor what you feel. If something feels off, if something has hurt your feelings, if something has triggered you, honor that. Right? And I feel like they're pointing you to, like, I'm noticing all the nature energy here. Like she's at the ocean, at the beach. This person is resting in the mountains. I feel like there could be something really healing for you, group 2, to get out into nature in whatever scene feels the most resonant to you, whether it's the ocean, the mountains, or whatever, the forest. I think that something about that is really emotionally healing. I feel like specifically the water could be really, really healing for you, group 2. So honor what you feel at this time. It's okay if you're still feeling a little raw from whatever it is that you've been through. This card is so cute too. It says, why aren't you resting? And she's kind of like laying here. She's got her cat, her heating pad, her tea, her books, right? So self-care, I think, is really, really, really important at this time. I do feel a little bit of exhaustion in my body as I'm tapping into this energy, group 2. And maybe that's the undecided message that's coming through, right? I think you guys are hungry for a fresh start, a new beginning. You're wanting things to shift and change. I do see that that's possible here, but you're still not fully out of the woods from whatever you've recently experienced, right? And so Spirit is kind of saying, why aren't you taking a rest? You need it, right? So honor your emotions, but honor your body, honor your mental health, and make sure that you're getting the rest that you need, because the potential is going to be there regardless, right? There is this new seed, this new opportunity to create something new, to start fresh. And that's where we've got this energy of good luck charm. This is the Wheel of Fortune. It says, if nothing seems to be going your way, cast a spell. Okay? There's something that you guys are passionate about that's here, whether it's love, life, career, something else, whatever resonates the most with you at this time. Maybe whatever is the most, like the topic that's on your heart the most, that you're wondering about coming to this reading, is what this is about. And I feel like there has been a cycle here where it hasn't worked out for you, or you've been hurt, or you're still feeling a little emotionally raw or sensitive from something. And I think Spirit is saying that when you're ready, once you've had the opportunity to get your rest, it's time to set some new intentions. The Wheel of Fortune is a really cool card because sometimes it can be the universe just kind of comes in and it shocks us into something. It kind of shifts us into a change, throwing us a curveball that we weren't expecting. But I love how it's depicted in this card because it's more about you, the viewer, taking matters into your own hands through setting some new intentions and starting a new cycle, kind of taking that wheel into your own hands, right? So one of the things that you guys could be doing at this time while you're resting is setting some intentions, right? This talks about casting a spell. So maybe doing like candle magic or rituals or something, journaling, whatever it is for you that helps you to kind of mentally align and set those intentions to manifest what you're looking to manifest here. And I think through doing that, it's going to help to ignite some excitement for you. Just kind of thinking about the possibilities is going to feel really exciting. We also have Mars in Virgo in the 6th, and this says criticism. More flowers here. For some of you, this is, I don't know that this is like really the core to the message, but for some of you, I feel like you're being a bit too critical over your physical appearance at this time. I feel like you're being too critical over your body or your health or the way you look. Like maybe weight loss or weight could be significant. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I just kind of get that vibe from that card. The 6th house, though, it has to do with our health and our day-to-day routines, right? So that could be what is being the kind of the focal point of the message here. So maybe for some of you, it is those topics I was talking about as it pertains to health, but it can be any of those topics, health and day-to-day routines in the 6th house. Mars in the 6th can indicate a lot of energy in this area, but we do have the term criticism here. So I feel like you guys need to just watch for being overly critical or harsh on yourself or expecting too much out of yourself at this time before you're really ready, right? Like I feel with Mars in the 6th, it's like you want to be really active in your routines and you want to, maybe work out or be like hitting certain milestones with your goals, your fitness goals, your health goals, but just be really careful that you're not nitpicky, right? Or setting yourselves up to failure by being too overly critical of your progress. Because I feel like that's making things worse with this 4 of Swords here. It's like this Mars critical energy is going to exhaust you and make you need more rest than you really want. Okay, so let's continue group 2. So just be gentle with yourself, okay? All right. What else, Spirit, can you tell us about group 2? What else do they need to know at this time? This is the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. Let's just get one, please, Spirit. We have surrounded by prosperity. Your attention is being drawn to the infinite nature of reality. That which exists outside the known is beyond measure. That's beautiful. So I feel like it's like they're saying right now, you guys might not see all the possibilities that are around you. And I think it's just because you're still healing and recovering from something that's been really maybe a little bit like jarring or scarring for you, right? But you guys did pick citrine, and citrine is associated with joy, optimism, and abundance and prosperity. And that's exactly what this card is talking about. I think that there's something beyond what you guys currently know, like something beyond what's currently in your energetic field that is out there for you as like this new seed of opportunity. And maybe you just haven't awakened to it yet, or you haven't seen it yet, but you will through this Wheel of Fortune, through setting some new intentions and getting excited about your future again. I think Spirit is also saying to keep in mind, like, don't have any sort of limited mindset, because just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, right? So this is about your love life and you're like, there's no good people out there for me. Well, just because you're not seeing it right now doesn't mean it's not there. There's a whole world of possibilities that you don't even know about yet, that you haven't even unlocked for yourself yet. Okay, let's grab the next deck. What else can you tell us, please, Spirit, for group 2? We also have flip it upside down, question your beliefs. Interesting. You know, this came up a little bit in group 1. It's playing out a lot differently for you guys, group 2, but this is when we need to kind of like check our mindset, check the limits that we tell ourselves that we have, right? And so flipping it upside down, it talks about really being curious and looking at something from all different angles. So I feel that where things are going to change and turn for you is the magic of curiosity. I feel like there is something here with this Mars and Virgo where you guys are being a little too critical on yourselves, or you're being too hard on yourselves about something, having a specific expectation of a specific result. And maybe you're not getting it and it's stressing you out, it's exhausting you, right? Challenge that. Ask yourself where that's coming from. Why is it happening? Why are you in that space? Because I think that that is the key to unlocking your passion and forward movement in this situation. Group 2. Okay, so and it's almost like once you're able to do that, this unlocks so many new possibilities for you, and it makes you feel excited again. Okay. So we're just going to close it out with a few of these coffee cup oracles. And let's see. Let's take a look, group 2. We have the bride, wife, and engagement. That's so interesting because the husband came up in the first spread, the groom, or in the in group 1's reading, rather. Let's see, group 2. We have the cat, jealousy, and gossip. Interesting. And then we have the moose that says acceptance and eccentric. Okay. So maybe some of you guys were a wife recently, or you were engaged or in a committed relationship recently. I feel like there's some sensitivity around that here for some of you. I don't know if you guys just got out of a breakup or went through something difficult, but it's making me think that this is the pain point here. Something to do with this topic. Okay. Just be careful, you guys, of your mindset and who you're surrounding yourselves with. Again, like with this Mars and Virgo, this critical energy that's here, and this jealousy and this gossip, this is going to just stress you out and bring you down. And I think with this Four of Swords, there's a real need to kind of detach from anything like that. I don't think that's serving you in your highest good, right? So take a step back from that, detach from that, getting yourself out of those toxic situations that are not serving you in your highest good, and just really focusing on your mental health is really, really important at this time to your healing work. There's also an energy here of like, sort of moving into a place of acceptance over your circumstances is where things are going to start to turn for you. And again, as I was saying in the beginning of your reading, it's not necessarily something that's going to happen overnight. Like Spirit is saying to take your time, because it seems like you're moving through a change where you're sort of still back in a phase here and moving toward new possibilities. But I think the first step toward movement forward and reigniting your passion, Group 1, is through the acceptance of your current circumstances and questioning your beliefs, right? Those two things seem to be unlocking more progress for you, more excitement in your life moving forward. There's also something, I'm really drawn to the word eccentric here. Like, I think being okay with something not being the status quo or the norm, and just kind of embracing wherever you're at in your life at this time. It doesn't have to be the same as everybody else. Like, it's okay if you're sort of carving out your own path. And so I think if you guys came from a situation that was more traditional, more committed, more anchored in like traditional values, and now something has shifted with that, and maybe you're not always like feeling happy with where you're at, there's the critical energy, right? Like, I think just being excited about doing something kind of different is going to help you, right? Kind of shifting your mindset about being in this more eccentric, kind of different, off the beaten path phase. Like, it's the example that's coming to mind is like maybe someone who like got married really young and then they got divorced and now they're like 40 in their mid 40s, and all the beliefs out there, all the toxic podcasts are like, oh, you're never going to find love or whatever, like all the red pill podcasts. I think that this is just kind of saying, that's just an example. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but I think what this reading is saying, Group 2, is just like, if that's you in a situation like that, this is an opportunity to kind of get excited about being a little bit different, and that it's okay to kind of embrace your own path and not be on whatever you thought the path was going to be or whatever society thinks the path should be for you. So this is what I see for you, Group 2. Comment below. Let me know what's been happening in your life and how this message resonates. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next reading soon. Bye. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the Pyrite Crystal and the Angel Tarot, this is going to be your message. And today we are looking into messages from your spirit guides, and using the term messages from spirit, but if you like, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, higher self, whatever you resonate with, feel free to apply that term as you see fit, okay? So let's go ahead and jump in and see what general message Spirit has for you at this time, Group 3. All right, so we start off with the mirror. We have divine order. We have nurture. Okay. And we're gonna come back to that in a little bit. I'm just gonna put it up there for now. Okay. So, Group 3, what does Spirit want you to know at this time? The first thing that's kind of jumping out to me is that there's a need, I think, to be patient at this time, because divine order is coming into play. This says everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. With the energy of the mirror being here, this is all about perception, self-perception in particular. We look into the mirror and we see something, and we kind of filter our perception through the lens through which we're looking at it, right? Mirroring energy can also happen to us in certain situations, right? We can experience a connection where something is being mirrored back to us, for instance. So I feel like there is something about your perception or the way you're looking at something that needs your attention at this time, Group 3. And there's definitely something about kind of accepting and embracing like Everything is happening for a reason. Everything is exactly how it needs to be, even if I don't fully understand why. Sort of like this energy of just releasing and letting go. And specifically where this card is saying, look past the illusion. That's what's really jumping out at me. And that's why I'm kind of connecting it to the mirror in that way. I think there's something that that your perception, Spirit is saying like your perception of it might not be fully accurate at this time. We're going to see. I'm going to be building into this message a little bit more. Like something is being reflected back to you. I think that needs to be looked at differently than how you're currently seeing it. Okay. Now we also have the energy of nurture. This says, as you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So I think for a lot of my group 3 viewers, there could be something around parenting that's really significant here. Parenting, being a caretaker, maybe to someone, a caregiver. It doesn't necessarily have to be a baby or a child. It could be maybe some of you guys are caregivers to adults at this time, right? But this card, it is talking about nurturing a child, which helps to nurture our own inner child. So I'm almost wondering for some of you guys, especially if you are a parent or you are taking care of somebody right now, maybe that is something that there's something being mirrored to you through that. Maybe something about the needs of your own inner child that need your attention right now. So let's keep going. Group 3. Now, children can also be a metaphor for like creation. So for those of you drawn to group 3 that are like, well, I don't have kids and that's not really in my plans, this could be talking about something that you've metaphorically like given birth to, something you've created, right? A creative idea that you had or a creative business or something along those lines. And the message still applies. Like something about nurturing and taking care of that creativity is nurturing your inner child. Okay. Let's see, group 3. What else, Spirit? Can you tell us? We have the 9 of Cups. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups. Wow. Ooh. And then we have the 7 of Swords. And then we have a King of Pentacles here at the bottom. That's interesting. King of Pentacles can be like a father figure. It's just interesting with like the child energy. Like this could be a father figure or a very responsible, grounded masculine, somebody that would be like that traditional kind of provider, very stable. This card says obedience causes harmony and peace, calms anger in anyone. These could be characteristics of someone you know. The 10 of Pentacles is underneath of that as well. I'm wondering for some of you if there's a connection here to a masculine, like a King of Pentacles as a part of this message. For some of you, I do feel this King of Pentacles is mirroring something back to you. Okay. This masculine or this like there's another person involved for some of you, whether it's this King of Pentacles or not. Like there's something being mirrored back to you guys, I think, about the traits of these King of Pentacles for some. It's like the stability, the security, the reliability, the dependability. So let me get into this. I feel like I'm all over the place right now. The 9 of Cups is about getting something we want. This is about like self-fulfillment, being emotionally fulfilled with everything we need, right? And being emotionally independent. This is an energy of like not needing anything else or anyone else to make us happy because we're filling up our own cup. This particular Nine of Cups talks about healing, preserves health, and cures diseases. I'm wondering if there's a specific link to some of you guys as it pertains to health or some sort of healing work. With cups, it could be emotional healing for a lot of you. And I think what Spirit is saying is that this is happening all as it's supposed to be. If there's something that you guys have been wanting, maybe it's a King of Pentacles or something material, work related, child related, whatever it is, I do feel like it's coming in divine timing. And patience is necessary. Then we have the Knight of Cups. This says the revealing God, perception and revelation, discovers hidden treasure, reveals secrets of nature. With this coming up underneath of the mirror, I'm wondering if there's something being mirrored back to you about these traits of the Knight of Cups. Whether this is like someone else in your life that acts this way, whether this is the way you tend to act or perceive things. It literally says perception and revelation, and it's underneath of the mirror, which is talking about your perception. Okay? And it's next to the Seven of Swords, which can talk about avoidance of something. Are you guys avoiding something to do with a child or your inner child at this time? Because like the Seven of Swords is literally like when we don't address it, we don't even acknowledge it, we don't even like talk about it. Or we're trying to avoid something. Let's keep going. We have Jupiter in the 6th in Virgo, and it literally says patience on it. Jupiter in the 6th in Virgo. This is interesting because the 6th house can talk about things like health and wellness and our routines. I definitely think for some of you guys, if you have a child, this is connected to your day-to-day routine for sure. And Jupiter in the 6th is like, Jupiter's an expansive energy, which means that you guys could have a lot going on in your day-to-day routine. You could have a lot going on if you have a child. You could just have a lot on your plate. Like your day-to-day responsibilities are getting larger. And we have patience here. And she's almost, what is she holding? Like a rod or like it's like her scepter. I don't know. The first thing that I thought I was seeing was like a rod, like something you would use to discipline someone. I'm just wondering if there's something about your childhood that's coming up through you guys having a child, group 3. And I'm sorry, I feel like your message is like all over the place and it's not like fully clicking for me yet. We'll see as we get deeper into the cards. But yeah, there's like this expansion of day-to-day duties and responsibilities with Virgo. Virgo is about being of service to others. Virgo can also have to do with our health, our wellness, right? Being of service to others and taking care of a child or caretaking go hand in hand. And there's like an expansion of those responsibilities that might be feeling a little bit overwhelming to some of you. And maybe that's where that Seven of Swords is coming into play, where it's like, I wish I could just escape from this right now. But I feel like with this Knight of Cups, there's a message here about like, you know, the Knight of Cups is an energy of kindness. It is about speaking kindly to yourself and to others, positive affirmations, diplomacy, being the person that spreads happiness, right? And so I'm wondering if there's a need to embody that energy a little bit more to help you kind of navigate through this time. Let's keep going, group 3. Oh my gosh, one moment. All right, sorry guys. We're just going to get one, not 500. So what What else can you tell us, please, Spirit, for group 3? What else do they need to know? We have convey your meaning. Reflect on the way you communicate with others and with yourself. Be sure to express your thoughts and feelings from your heart with respect and sincerity. So that makes a lot of sense, you guys, with this Knight of Cups. There's a need, I think, for you guys to do some reflection on the way you communicate. And the Knight of Cups is very much about what this card is saying, this expression, emotional expression from the heart. But being respectful and sincere about the way that you communicate, right? Because then the thing about the Knight of Cups is that the Knight of Cups can also be they can be kind of fake at times, right? Because it's a very charming energy and it knows what to say to sort of win the other person over. It can be very persuasive. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes it's not good because it's not always sincere. So I think there is something here, and it may be connected to this King of Pentacles, where you guys are being challenged to kind of reflect on, how am I showing up, right? Am I expressing myself authentically, or am I expressing myself in a way that's not authentic, and it's because I'm trying to avoid or mask something that I'm actually feeling inside? Okay. And again, this could be something that is coming up for you through a child. Or this King of Pentacles. Maybe that's like a partner, a husband, a spouse, a coworker, right? Let's see. What else, please, Spirit? We have there's no place like home. Nestle into the sweetness. Interesting. Home and family seem to be like consistent. Like home, family, child, inner child, all that seems to be a really consistent theme in your reading, group 3. I feel like it's something that you've been avoiding as it connects to those themes of home. Like there's a need to face whatever that is. I'm going to pull one more of these cards. Group 3. I feel like Spirit is saying you've been avoiding something with that 7 of Swords. Like your healing work or looking at yourself in the mirror potentially. Your inner child work. Yeah, it's like there's no place like home. It's almost like immersing yourself into whatever it is so that you can heal and transmute that. We have persistent drive. See what you desire and move toward the goal. It's time to zero in on your purpose. Use your intuition and instincts to guide you for the optimal outcome. I think that's kind of connecting more to that divine order, like in the 9 of Cups. I feel like there's something that you guys desire that isn't fully fleshed out. Like it hasn't come to fruition just yet. And so I think a good place to start, Spirit is saying, is to figure out what it is that you're passionate about. What is it that's going to bring you emotional fulfillment? What is it that brings you a sense of purpose? Trusting your intuition to identify what that is for you. We also have rediscover your zeal. Pay attention to the passion you're feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationship. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. So leaning into like what really sparks you, I think is going to help you most at this time as well. Okay. So let's just pull a couple of these to close it out, group 3. What else, Spirit, would you like for group 3 to know at this time? Okay. We have the envelope, unfolding and surprise. That's interesting. So things are unfolding as they should, divine order. And maybe you're getting some sort of communication at some point soon that will help bring clarity here. Okay. We've got the triangle, choices and indecision. So time to make a decision about something you've been avoiding, group 3. Okay, one more. We have the cat, jealousy and gossip. Maybe this is something that's holding you back a little bit or something you need to avoid at this time. But I don't know, group 3, this is a pretty interesting message. It feels a little more abstract and ambiguous to me than some of the others that I did today. But kind of the core and what I'll summarize for you that I'm getting from this is that there's something being reflected back to you. And I feel like it is specifically centered around patience and also something to do with children or your childhood or inner child healing and inner child work that you need to do. There also seem to be some decisions that need to be made centered around home, family, children, and themes like that. So it's like twofold because I feel like there's also career and goal energy factored into this, but also something to do with like domestic things that spirit is wanting you to be mindful of at this time. So I'm going to end it here. Comment below. Let me know a little bit about what you guys have been going through and which pieces of the reading you think make sense for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next reading soon. Bye.